So here we go. Here are the 10 knitting podcasts that I like the most and hope that you will too. Okay, first up for our superlatives, most likely to be the first podcast I watch, and that is Me Knits. I have a hard time quite pinpointing like what it is exactly that I like about her channel so much. I think that so much of not just knitting podcasts, but I listen to a lot of regular podcasts in general during the day while I work, because a lot of my work as a graphic designer is so visual that there's space in the brain for other things to be going on. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I find it really hard to find new podcasts just by looking in sort of a topic-based way, because for me, so much of it is just a vibe. Like, do you feel like you would be friends with this person? Do you want to sit there and listen to them talk?
Today, we're going on a bit of a journey, looking into something maybe we don't always think about.
Yeah.
Why we actually choose the audio we listen to. Because it's often not just about the topic itself, is it?
No, not at all.
So our source material for this is, it's a lecture transcript. Really interesting stuff. It shows how one listener picks her favorite podcasts. And what's key is the language she uses. It's super casual, very revealing. Okay, let's dig into this.
Absolutely. And, by looking closely at these everyday words and phrases, we can sort of uncover these deeper needs we have. Things like wanting connection or a certain atmosphere from our audio. It goes way beyond just the subject.
Right. So she starts her list of, I think they were knitting podcasts, with a phrase we all use. So here we go. Super casual. What's that signaling to us when we hear it?
Well, so here we go. It's like a little green light, isn't it? It's informal, friendly. It's basically saying, okay, let's get started. Or I'm about to share something with you. It lowers the formality right away.
Yeah, makes it feel like a chat. And then she does this playful thing with what she calls superlatives. But she doesn't mean it in the strict grammar sense. It's more like giving each podcast a quirky title, like you'd see in a high school yearbook, most likely to be the first podcast I watch, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And that yearbook style, it's fascinating because it immediately adds so much personality. It stops being just a list and becomes her list, her personal take. It pulls you in.
It really does. Then she says something quite interesting, that she finds it hard to pinpoint what she likes about one channel. Like, she enjoys it, but she can't quite put her finger on the exact reason why.
Yeah, and that difficulty to pinpoint, it's not just about vocabulary, is it? It sort of highlights how subjective taste is. Sometimes we just feel a connection to something, and articulating the why is, well, it's tough. It's a very human thing, that fuzziness around preference.
Definitely. Okay, so here's where her daily life comes in, and it gets really interesting. She's a graphic designer, and she listens to podcasts for so much of her workday. Why? Because her work is visual, and it leaves, quote, space in the brain for audio.
Right. So much of just means, a big chunk of her day. But space in the brain, that's such a great informal image. It tells you her work needs her eyes, but maybe not. The part of her brain that processes language intensely. So there's room for listening. And if you think bigger picture, it really shows how our jobs, our routines, they actually shape our media habits, when and how we consume things.
Which leads us right into this kind of paradox she talks about. She finds it hard to discover new podcasts in a topic-based way, because for her, it really comes down to the vibe. So what does that vibe actually mean here?
Well, topic-based way is pretty straightforward choosing by subject. Like, I want a history podcast or a comedy podcast. But the vibe, that's the overall feeling, the atmosphere, the personality shining through. For her, it seems to be about really clicking with the host. Like, she just wants to listen to that person talk.
Regardless of the topic, almost.
Almost, yeah. The topic might be the starting point, but the host is what keeps her there. It's about that human element. And, this taps into a really basic human thing, doesn't it? That desire for connection, even through media.
Yeah, like, would you actually want to hang out with this person? That kind of feeling.
Exactly. That sense of connection can be way more important than ticking a topic box for a lot of listeners.
And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of your own listening works like that? Are you choosing topics, or are you choosing people? Vibes. So let's try and wrap this up. We've seen how this one listener really prioritizes the human side of podcasts. It's in her casual language, her focus on the host's personality, that hard-to-define vibe. It's not just about information for her.
Right. And understanding these subtle cues and informal ways of talking helps us grasp not just what people say, but why they connect with certain content. It shows there's often a whole hidden layer to how we engage with media. It's communication beyond just the facts.
So the question for you listening now is, what does this all mean for how you choose? How much are you driven by a deep dive into a subject versus just wanting to hang out with the hosts, wanting that particular vibe? Something to think about next time you press play.